I found out she cheated, and invited her lover's wife to dinner. The fork slipped from Lara's hand the moment she saw the woman I had invited. Her face turned pale, the room froze, and for the first time that night, I smiled. Sometimes revenge doesn't need shouting, just silence, timing, and a perfect dinner. Ethan never imagined his marriage would end with a single message notification. He never imagined his gentle, soft-spoken wife would betray him. And he never imagined he could stay calm while planning the most unforgettable night of their lives. But betrayal changes everything. When Ethan uncovers Lara's secret affair, he doesn't confront her. He observes. He calculates. He waits. Then he reaches out to the one person who understands his pain, the other betrayed spouse. Together, they design one evening, one dinner, that will shatter the lies and expose the cheaters with the power of silence, truth, and poetic justice. This is a gripping emotional short film story about heartbreak, quiet strength, and a revenge that doesn't scream, it whispers. I always believed that destruction came with noise, shouts, slammed doors, or breaking glass. But the truth is, the biggest destruction I ever witnessed came in silence. It was a Tuesday night. Soft rain tapping the windows, Lara humming in the kitchen, preparing dinner like any normal evening of our 8-year marriage. I was in the living room finishing a project. Everything was peaceful, painfully peaceful, until her phone buzzed on the counter. Normally, I never touched it. Normally, I trusted her. Normally, she didn't flinch. But this time she did. She froze. Hands tightened. Eyes widened at the notification. Then she did something she never did before, she rushed across the room to grab it. Too late. The screen lit up fully before she snatched it. I miss you already. Last night was magic. Same time tomorrow. Saved under a woman's name, but the text wasn't from a woman. I closed the door gently behind Marissa, the lock clicking like a full stop at the end of a long story. Dinner, I replied softly. The four of us. The four. Her voice cracked. The second doorbell rang. Lara's knees almost buckled. Because she knew. She knew exactly who was on the other side. I opened the door again, slower this time, giving her enough time to drown in anticipation. Aiden stood there. Tall. Nervous. Sweating. His tie crooked. His eyes darting everywhere but at me. Evening, he said, his voice trembling slightly. Evening, I replied calmly. Come in. He stepped inside, pretending to be composed, but his hands were shaking. The moment he saw Marissa, he froze. Hard. His jaw tightened. His chest stopped moving. For a second, he looked like someone who had been caught in a trap. Then his eyes finally landed on Lara. That was the moment the room truly cracked. The air thickened. The walls leaned in. The house itself seemed to hold its breath. Lara stepped back, her voice barely a whisper. Aiden, why are you here? Marissa laughed sharply. You should ask your husband. The way she said husband sliced clean through the room. I gestured toward the dining table, fully set, candles glowing like little witnesses. The smell of stew, slow-cooked lamb, and roasted vegetables filled the house. Everything warm. Everything peaceful. A perfect background for a war. Shall we? I said, my voice calm. No one moved. So I walked to the table alone and sat down. If I have to drag each of you to your seats, I will, I said with quiet finality. That got them moving. Slowly, reluctantly, they all took their places. Lara sat across from me, trembling. Aiden sat beside her, staring at the table. Marissa sat beside me, her anger simmering beautifully under her skin. For a moment, no one spoke. Only the crackling of the candle flame filled the silence. Then I began. Ethan, please, we can talk privately. No, I cut her off. We are done with private conversations, Lara. You made sure of that. She shut her mouth instantly. I turned to Aiden. How long? He didn't answer. You heard him, Marissa said, leaning forward. How long? Aiden swallowed. 7 months. Lara closed her eyes. Her lips trembled. 7 months. And she had kissed me every morning. Cooked dinner. Shared a bed. 7 months. There was a moment, just one, where my chest tightened. Not with anger. With grief. But it passed. I had processed my pain long before this night. Marissa nodded slowly. 7 months, she repeated. Almost as long as our last attempt at saving our marriage. Aiden flinched. She wasn't done. You told me you were seeing a therapist. You told me you were trying. She looked at him with painful disappointment. And all that time, you were seeing her. Her voice didn't rise. She didn't scream. Quiet betrayal is the loudest. Aiden wiped his forehead. Marissa, please, listen. No, she said coldly. I'm done listening. Lara's voice was barely audible. Ethan. I didn't want you to find out this way. I stared at her. Slowly. Deeply. I know, I replied. You wanted me to find out by accident. Or never. You wanted me to walk around this house smiling while another man touched what I vowed to protect. Her tears spilled. Ethan. I'm sorry. I'm not here for your apology. That stunned her. I turned calmly to the kitchen, picked up the wine bottle, and poured for Marissa first, then myself. I didn't offer any to the cheaters. They didn't deserve to be served. Lara's voice cracked. You planned this. This dinner. Yes. With her, she whispered, looking at Marissa with wide, aching eyes. Yes, I said again. Aiden looked sick. You two worked together. Marissa smirked. Cheating brought you two together. Betrayal brought us. The silence sharpened. A long, deep breath escaped Lara's lips. Ethan, please, this is humiliating. That was the point. It was time. I stood up slowly. Walked to the living room. Returned with a small envelope. And placed it gently in front of her. She stared at it like it was a loaded weapon. What is this? My voice was calm. Divorce papers. Aiden inhaled sharply. Marissa closed her eyes in relief. Lara gasped as if stabbed. Ethan, no, please, please don't do this. I finally looked at her, not with anger. With finality. You killed this marriage months ago. I'm just signing the death certificate. Her tears fell fast and heavy. She looked at Aiden. But he wasn't looking at her. He was staring at his wife, guilt tearing him apart. Lara reached toward me, voice breaking completely. Ethan. I love you. I gently pulled my hand away. No, I whispered. You loved the version of me who didn't know. Now you love your fear. She collapsed into her seat, sobbing. The room was silent except for her cries. Then Marissa stood. She wasn't done yet. She leaned forward and delivered the final, unforgiving line. Lara, you didn't just lose your husband tonight. Lara's shaking stopped for a moment. What do you mean? You're about to lose your lover too. Aiden looked up in shock. Marissa turned to him. Cold. Sharp. Beautifully honest. You're moving out tomorrow. Aiden's face went pale. And Lara, she added, looking directly at her. You're going home to no one. The candles flickered. The air tightened. The room felt like a courtroom where the verdict had just been delivered. Lara, broken. Aiden, speechless. Marissa, victorious. And me. Free. I pushed my chair back quietly. Dinner is served, I said softly. Nobody touched the food. Not yet. The night was far from over. No one moved. No one breathed properly. The candles flickered like they were struggling to stay alive, mirroring the 4 people trapped at the table, 2 betrayers, 2 betrayed, 1 inevitable ending. Lara wiped her face with trembling fingers. Ethan, please, don't do this here. Aiden lowered his head. Marissa didn't even look at him. She was staring at Lara, with the quiet fury of a woman finally handed the truth she had long suspected. I leaned back in my chair. Let's begin, I said. And I placed my phone on the table. Lara's eyes widened. Aiden held his breath. I pressed play. A recording. Their voices. Their laughter. Their secrets. Everything. The table went still, like death had brushed its fingers across the wood. Aiden, Marissa whispered, her voice breaking for the first time, this is you, in our bedroom, calling her the love of your life. Aiden shut his eyes, fighting tears. Marissa. I'm sorry. Don't, she snapped. You meant it. Every word. Every moan. Every lie. Lara put her hands over her ears. Please stop, please. You didn't stop, I said. Not once. I pressed pause. The silence that followed was brutal. Lara looked at me like a drowning woman searching for something to hold on to. Ethan. I swear. I didn't mean to fall for him. Fall? Marissa laughed bitterly. Honey, you didn't fall. You dove. Aiden's voice trembled. Lara, this was a mistake. You know that. We both. Don't, she snapped, turning to him with sudden fire. Don't pretend now. You said you were going to leave her for me. Marissa's jaw tightened. You said what? Aiden turned pale. Marissa, it was just talk. It wasn't just talk, Lara said, desperate. He told me he wanted a future with me. He told me you were the reason he was unhappy. Marissa slammed her fist on the table. Aiden flinched like he'd been shot. Unhappy, she whispered, tears finally slipping down her cheeks. I carried you through your father's death. I stayed when you lost your job. I paid the bills. I fed your ego when it was starving. I rebuilt you. The pain in her voice was raw. Honest. Unfiltered. And you cheated on me with her. Lara shattered into tears. Aiden broke completely. But I sat still, watching the destruction unfold exactly as planned. When the sobbing finally quieted, I stood. Tonight's not about forgiveness, I said. It's about truth. I placed 2 papers on the table. 1 divorce paper set for Lara. 1 separation agreement for Aiden. Marissa exhaled shakily. I've already signed mine, she said coldly. Aiden turned to her, horrified. Marissa, please, not like this. You made your choice, she replied. I am making mine. Lara looked at me, pleading. Ethan. I'll change. I'll do anything. Please don't leave me. You already left, I said quietly. You just didn't pack your bags. Her shoulders collapsed. The world she built on lies was falling apart in real time, and there was nothing she could do to stop it. It was time to end it. Marissa stood up. Aiden, get your things tomorrow. After that, don't come back. Aiden grabbed her arm. Marissa. She pulled away as if his touch burned. No. You don't get to touch me anymore. Lara turned to Aiden, panicking. You told me you loved me. You told me you wanted to be with me. I said things I shouldn't have, he whispered. Please, don't make this worse. Lara froze. There it was. The truth she never expected. Aiden wasn't leaving his wife. He never was. She was just entertainment. A distraction. A fantasy. A disposable secret. Her tears stopped. Then her breathing changed, slow, shaky, dangerous. You used me, she whispered. Aiden said nothing. Because silence is always admission. Lara looked at me, heartbroken in a way she had never been in 8 years of marriage. Ethan. I lost everything. Yes, I said, standing. And you did it with your own hands. She reached for me. I stepped back. No more, I said softly. She collapsed again. Marissa grabbed her purse. I'm done here. I walked her to the door. Just before she stepped out, she turned to me with tired eyes. Thank you, she said. For giving me clarity. You deserve the truth, I replied. She nodded once, then left. Aiden followed her out, calling after her like a desperate man who finally realized what he threw away. The door closed behind them, leaving me alone. With my wife. Lara stared at me with empty eyes. Ethan, please talk to me. I have nothing left to say. Then yell, she begged. Hit something. Break something. Just don't walk away. I'm not breaking anything, I said. I'm just done. Those 3 words destroyed her more than any scream could. I didn't pack her things. I didn't shout. I didn't insult her. I simply walked upstairs, opened the bedroom window, and let the cool night breeze wash over me. For the first time in months, I felt free. Lara followed me slowly, her voice barely a breath. Ethan, please don't leave me alone tonight. I turned to her, calm but firm. You left me alone for 7 months. She covered her mouth, sobbing silently. I stepped past her, grabbed a small duffel bag, and packed only what I needed for the night. Where are you going? She whispered. To peace. She reached for my hand again. This time, I didn't move away angrily. I simply removed her fingers gently from mine. Ethan. I love you. No, I said softly. You love the thought of losing me. Not me. She broke completely, sinking to the floor, crying into her hands. I walked to the door. Paused. Looked back one last time. You betrayed the safest place you ever had, I said quietly. And that's a loss you'll feel long after I'm gone. Then I left. No door slam. No dramatic exit. Just a quiet closing. A soft click. A new chapter beginning. As I reached my car, my phone buzzed, a message from Marissa. Thank you. I hope we both heal. I typed back. We will. I started the engine, took a deep breath, and drove into a future free of lies. Because sometimes, revenge isn't destruction. Revenge is dignity. And dignity is louder than any scream.